What's going on, guys? Got a little bit of an update for you on the prototype grinder assembly. We'll try not to make this video drag on too long, but just to go over a few things here. Obviously, we're starting to look a little bit more like a grinder now. I am still, of course, waiting on wheels, motor, drive, and the materials for the work rest and the tool arms. I'm going to have to kind of put all that stuff together. But I think the hardest part, hopefully, is kind of out of the way here, and we've pretty much got the final assembly, more or less done. May tweak and adjust a couple of minor things here or there. One thing I did notice, or at least the end of my thumb noticed, is that this cross plate here, being that it's so close to the bottom of the main body, which is actually going to end up being quite a bit of inertia when the motor's on and everything else. There's a severe pinch point right there, and thankfully there wasn't a motor and tool arms and a bunch of other stuff on there. When I pinched the end of my thumb, probably would have took a chunk out of it. But I need to take at least probably 3/4 to an inch off of that, and give a little room for error there. Should a finger ever kind of get caught in there, it really doesn't need to be that high. And actually, I think I had changed it once before in the plans, but somehow it got reversed on me, or kind of got lost between a couple of working drafts I had going. But definitely need to change that, and it will be changed for any future designs for sure. Now the spring pin, I'm kind of wondering if I really even need it. It works. It does what it needs to do, but here in the vertical position, especially if you lock this arm down, it's not going anywhere. And it's just kind of one more thing to remember when you lay it over. Definitely don't need it in horizontal, because you'll have the weight of the motor there kind of holding that in place. And again, you can lock this down as you need it. But I don't know. We'll see what the motor does as far as counterbalancing everything when the grinder's in vertical position. I don't think it's going to want to pull over, but maybe the spring pin is needed. We'll kind of see how that goes. I think maybe also I need to widen these arcs out just a little bit, especially on this back one. I think I tapped the insert just a little crooked. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of binding. Yeah, I can definitely see where the threads are cutting in on that one. This one, they're kind of cutting in on that side. We'll probably widen those out. Probably do that pretty easily on the mill, or just with a round file. But it'll kind of wear in and break in eventually too, so maybe I won't even worry about it. Probably make those bigger though for the next design. So I probably need to start taking some notes here, what I want to change, although I think I got a pretty good idea. Let's see, we did some work on the over center cam assembly. I'll kind of show you that. Again, I kind of got this idea from Mick Strider's grinder. He made what he calls the Sofa King grinder. I don't know if this was his idea originally, if he got it from somebody, but I think it's a really good idea and a good system. John Grimsmo, he made one just like it, or at least, did his version of it, and I think another guy on the USN did one as well. I want to say Grumpy Phil was the name, or the handle. I'm not sure exactly how those guys did all theirs, so hopefully I got something halfway close to right here, but that's it, kind of in the back position. This will be it down. Obviously this tool arm won't be, or tracking arm won't be moving up and down that much when the belt's in place, but it will use just about the whole stroke of the cylinder to keep this vertical, or parallel rather, to the body. I got a couple of ideas on, I think, how to make this a little smoother, a little better. This is actually a 60-pound spring. I had the 80 on originally, and it took quite a bit of force to get it to go. I actually had a ratchet strap around it just because obviously I don't have the wheels or a way to put a grinder belt on. Actually, I think I had this a little less twisted up here. Do it that way. Oh, come on. Sliding all around here. Gotta loosen this up. That ought to work. Yeah, you can kind of see how that works. It's pretty easy. You know, it feels good. Using most of that cylinder stroke. You know, it kind of wants to pop there at the very end, but I don't think that'll hurt anything. I think I'm going to add some bushings, especially here, but also probably on the inside, some bronze bushing. I got some shim stock coming. I'll probably make some, but you can kind of see how that works in there. I got a paddle. You know, that goes back and forth with the cylinder. I think this is pretty close to how John Grimsmo did his. I could probably shorten that up a little bit, you know, not to need as much leverage to actuate this. You know, obviously the longer that is, the bigger the arc of travel is, and you know, the more torque on this handle is needed. But you're still getting, I think, the 60 pounds or 80 pounds regardless. So, you know, I may go ahead and change that. I know it seems like the travel is a little less or a little shorter on Mick Strider's and John Grimsmo's grinders. So I'm going to make another piece. I got some more aluminum. And we'll kind of play back and forth with that, get it dialed in just how I like it. You can see I got it on the motor side. You know, I think it'll work pretty well on this side too, but you know, I think for now I kind of like it on this side, and we'll probably leave it there. Tracking arm is on this side, and you know, I thought maybe there'd be some clearance issues, but actually everything works really nicely. So it'd probably be about the same over here too. As far as being okay. Let's see, what else can I show you? No, sorry, wasn't even in frame there. I could put a tool arm in here. This one's way longer than it needs to be. It's about 18 inches. I imagine I only need about a foot for most of my attachments. But you know, it fits really good. Let me see if I can get arm in here. I don't know if I'm going to use these, or, you know, I made some knobs, or need to make some knobs. I had some knobs cut out. I need to put the threads on. But yeah, it locks in really solid. I like that. You know, no up and down play. Any movement or flex you see is really just a workbench. I'll probably end up fabbing up a steel pedestal and ultimately just bolting it to my concrete floor. So that'll really make a nice solid grinder. But you know, this fits just as well in any of these. Obviously you got to be careful. Well, there went my small wheel. Got to be careful of the over center cam assembly and the gas spring until you get down to this point. Of course, the motor will be in the way once that's on. But what do you got? About 6 or 8 inches, I think, of travel for clearance. Almost 9. So that should be plenty for most tool arms and everything else. Obviously, once everything's dialed in, that's not going to change, and you know, the ends of the arms will end up in the same spot regardless. As your over center cam is going to end up in the same spot, and then you know, your belts are all the same. So we'll get that dialed in. I may make some marks or put some stops or set screws in it to keep it from going back too far. Still playing with some ideas with that, but I think we're on the right track. So I guess that's pretty much it. We're a little past 10 minutes here. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, want to see something a little closer, by all means, leave some comments below. Go ahead and take this off before it starts scratching everything. Probably tomorrow I'll maybe start working on this. You know, I'm still waiting on wheels, but I can bead blast it, tap what I need to, get that ready to go. You know, I need to build my knobs still. Again, I don't know if I'm going to use adjustable handles or maybe these. I kind of like the look of these, but you know, these are real convenient too. So we'll see. Throw my $8, $9 handle on the floor. These things are pretty expensive. I know why. You know, a lot of guys don't really include them with the grinders. They're about $8, $9 a piece. I'm looking around. I didn't really find anything that was any cheaper than McMaster-Carr. If anybody has any ideas on that, I'd love to hear it. I know Amazon, you know, they got some different sizes that are a little cheaper, but these 3/8 by 16 pitch, they don't seem very common on places like that. So, or at least not for a cheaper price. But if anybody knows, I'd love to pay less for stuff. What else can I tell you? That's really about it. We've gone on for about 12 minutes now. So hopefully by the end of the week, you know, we'll start getting wheels in. I'll get all that together. I'm hoping to get my motor by then. We'll get that mounted, ready to wire up. Probably for now, I'll just end up mounting it to this bench just to start using it and trying it out. But like I say, ultimately, I need to dedicate a spot for it, make a little pedestal. I'll probably drop it down, you know, for my height, probably about 3 or 4 inches lower than it is now. You know, I'm about 5'9", 5'9 and a half. So this is a little tall for things to be, actually. I don't want to drag this video out. But just to give you an idea, you know, if you're using this top slot, this arm may be a little bigger, obviously. Well, it fits in that one. Yeah, obviously, this is way too high to be working. You know, I'd have to get a step ladder. But you have to see what that's about. Yeah, that's pretty tight right there. They probably lower this one down a little bit, make that fit. We'll have to see what the aluminum bar that I got fits like. Kind of doesn't want to go in right there. Fits okay in that one. So yeah, we got some adjustments to make there. This actually looks like it may be canted just a little bit. Got a little lip there, flush here. You know, I have to adjust that. That should work okay. But anyway, what are we at now? Close to 15 minutes. We'll go ahead and call it good there. But, you know, that's the update. I'm hoping by the end of the week I'll have more for you. And we'll see this running before you know it. So thanks for watching, guys.